I am on the bike path in Playa Vista, California, heading north towards Marina del Rey and the Bayona Creek. So once I get to the Bayona Creek, you can see the garbage-eating barge in there that eats up all the garbage people throw in the creek, and there is a bridge over it. So I continue on the bike path over the bridge and take a right. So now I've got Marina del Rey on my left where the boats are going into the harbor, and on my right I've got Bayona Creek. Come to a fork in the road, take the rightward path, which is along the Bayona Creek, and then right when you get in here, there's a neat little nature trail that you can walk around on. It's usually closed, but sometimes it's open. But when the flowers are blooming, it's really pretty. But they've also got a board here that tells you exactly where you're going if you want to take the Park to Playa trail. Now, the great thing about this is there's no stop signs anywhere on this bike path, so it's a great bike ride, too, if you want to get some exercise. So on my left is Marina del Rey, that is the Playa, and on my right is the park way up towards Culver City, or I guess Baldwin Hills officially. So you take the bike path, and then you get off on Duquesne Ave, and then there is a look at the park. We'll explore it all here in a few minutes. Here's the altitude profile. So at the end, we're climbing a mountain that's over 500 feet high, but the bike path is pretty flat. So you could just do the bike path to get exercise, and if you want to climb the mountain, you're going to do some work. They do have a website. I'll put a link in the description so you can learn all about it if you're planning a trip there. And this is a typical section of the bike path, so that's what you're looking at. It is reasonably safe. I haven't really been creeped out or seen anything bad up here. In the 90s, it was terrible and dangerous, but now it's pretty good. And you will come to an off-ramp. The streets are marked, but you'll kind of want to be paying attention to which off-ramp you want to get off on. This one, I don't know how you pronounce this name of this street, so I'm probably going to pronounce it wrong. But this is the exit that has a lot of cool murals. So if you're into art, there's a little bit of art for you. Got some elephants, other things on the wall, Egyptian mummies. Really neat to just kind of slow down and check out the murals when you're getting off on this street. But this is Duquesne or Duquesne or Duquesne or Quiznos. There it is. However you pronounce that is where you get off, and then you're going to turn right. And on this part, you'll be off of the bike path. That's a dangerous place for a ride-share scooter. And I opted to ride on the sidewalk. You can see there isn't much of a bike lane here. And then after about half a block, you get to Jefferson Boulevard. And here you have a choice. If you go straight, you can go into a park and then access all of these things. And if you decide to go left, that's Culver City Park there. So if you go straight through there, you can ride through the park and get to the top of the mountain. But we're going to go left onto the street because that's just my preferred way because I have a bike and I'm going to be able to ride the bike up the road. And on Jefferson, you do get a bit of a bike lane here. So you feel a little bit safer. Just watch out for open car doors. Hetzler Road is the one that gets to the top of the mountain. That's how you'll know you're there. You'll also know you're there because of this big giant Baldwin Hills Scenic Overlook sign. You can see the hiking path, dedicated hiking path is over there. So if you're hiking up to the top, that's a great protected path with a pretty view that you can take up. But if you're on a bike, you take a right and you go up Hetzler Road to the top. This is very steep. I've done it on a regular bike. In this video, I'm doing it on an e-bike, and I still had to help the bike along to get up to the top. And on the sign, we will see the park hours. So it's open from the morning until half an hour after sunset. So if you want to go up here and watch the sunset, you can. You just have to evacuate within half an hour of darkness. This gives you an idea of how steep the road is. You can see there's a jogging path on the side of it, but that is super steep. If we look at it from the side, you start out on that incline up there where the car is going down, and then you can see how hard, this guy's obviously on an e-bike, but how steep it is getting up to the top. And then they actually have races up here. So if you want to get up and run around and sweat with your friends, there's a 5K there. And there's a beautiful view of the city as well. You can check out, there's some 5G towers there. And if you go across the parking lot, you will find yourself a museum. So they also have another board up there that tells you where everything is, and then there's a museum that you can go into as well. So first, let's take a look at the map. This shows you the Scenic Overlook path, which is on the top. Some people drive cars up here and just walk around the scenic overview. There's a visitor center, there's a nature center, and then there's some trails. Some of the trails are bike-friendly, some aren't, and then they're gonna build a cross over the freeway so you can go to another park and actually see a waterfall, but that is not in place as of now. And there's another look at the trail segment profile and the up and downs of it all. So get ready to hike, get ready to gain some altitude, get ready to sweat. The visitor center is open according to these rules. So you can go in the visitor center, look out the window at all the smog and the buildings, and then learn how to make your own smog. They actually have the recipe for smog up here on the wall. So look here, you're gonna actually learn something in this video. This is how thermal inversion works and why we can't see those buildings over there. Probably why I'm gonna die before I'm 70 as well. And if you run out of water, you can get some delicious Culver City Baldwin Hills water there, a little atrazine, a little fluoride for you to hype you up on the way down. And then I found a trail where they actually let bicycles on, and I decided I had to give it a try. So I got on the old Grandma Dutch 10 Ways e-bike, link in description if you want one, product placement, and gave it a shot. But I found pretty quickly that I can handle some steps, but you seriously go down in a very serious way and then have to go back up. So you have to be pretty good at climbing steep hills, and there's some exposed rocks and stuff. So I would say if you had a real mountain bike, go ahead and give it a try. But otherwise, like if you're on a regular road bike, I would not recommend it. But it's perfect if you're a hiker. You can see how far it disintegrates into the distance. That is downtown LA over there in the smog that you can barely see through all of the haze. But it's a good long hike. So if you're a hiker looking for a nice long walk, this looks like a great place to go for a hike. And they have strategic spots set up where you can actually go sit on a bench and look over the city, probably watch the sunset. Unfortunately, I was not here at sunset time. I might have to come back, but I think you'd probably have to fight with other people who are making out on the bench at sunset time. There is downtown LA again behind me, and then the bench that we saw earlier actually faces the ocean, which is where the sun would set. So you could watch the sunset over the ocean from the top of the world here in Baldwin Hills. Hydration break. And then going back home down the hill, you're going to get all that energy back that you spent going up the hill, which means you're going to be a danger to yourself and others. You can easily hit way more than 30 miles an hour pounding down this hill. So just want to make sure your brakes are up to it, your muscles and your reflexes are up to it, and then whee, right all the way to the bottom. And then at the bottom, at least on the weekend, you can see over there is a taco truck, and over there is a fresh fruit stand. So if you need some refueling, there's definitely stuff to buy and eat. But we're not done. Remember at the beginning, I showed you Culver City Park. So if we'd gone straight there instead of taking a left, you can see all of the cool stuff at Culver City Park. In fact, if you wanted to ride your bike and just hang out in the park and not have to climb that giant sweaty mountain, you could do that here. There's even a skate park there. So you could bring your skateboard on your bike, chill out there under the trees, have a picnic, ride your skateboard. And there's also a kids play area and a dog park and baseball fields at the top of this thing. Whoa, and there's also free compost. I wonder how much compost I can fit in my saddlebags. Maybe 5 pounds, 10 pounds. We'll see. Maybe if I tamp it down. Anyway, there's a bike lane here, and you can ride up through the park. And then there's also really good signage that shows you exactly where you're going. So you can actually connect to the other park from this park. There's a look at the baseball fields. They do have a couple of baseball fields or softball fields up here on top of the mountain. There's a beautiful look at the scenic buildings in the smog, and then the topmost field is where you go and cruise around the back of the field past this concrete wall, and this will take you back where we started, which is halfway up the big long road we rode at the beginning of it to get to the top of the Baldwin Hills Scenic Overlook. So the first time you're here, it's a fun day of exploring. Wonder what those guys are growing in there. But once you're used to it, I'm sure you could come up here and have a picnic and just go where you know and chill out, find your favorite park bench that nobody knows about, overlook the city, have a picnic, get a little workout in, and it's just a great resource to have if you live in the Culver City / Baldwin Hills area or anywhere within, 20 or 30 miles that you could get to it on a bike. And the ride home is pretty nice as well. So thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. I'm really enjoying having an e-bike that gives me more range. Like this was a probably 25 to 30 mile day that I would have been super tired on my regular bike, but the e-bike helps me out when I need it, and I turn it off when I want to get some exercise. So have a great day. This is another resource in Los Angeles. Hope this helped. Link in description to the park website for all the details. Thanks.